Hi, I'm Adam. Today I'm at Northumberland Zoo to find out what they're doing to help protect endangered species.
Venturing into the zoo, I made my way to the bat enclosure where I met with one of the zookeepers, Emily, to tell us more about how they make sure the bats are protected.
Do you have a rough number of how many Livingstone fruit bats are left in the wild?
So they estimate just over 1,000, so 1,300 or so, and then just a couple of hundred in captivity at the moment across those three.
So, is there anything that the zoo does specifically to help the endangerment of the bats?
So at the moment we're actually one of 3 zoos that house this particular species of bat, so the Livingstone fruit bat essentially again is just in 3 different zoos. We do a lot of breeding here, so since they've arrived we've had 3 pups, we've had Hadrian, Cuthbert and Kielder. We do a lot of charity events as well, so we work with a charity called Ahari, and basically we work with them and support them, raise funds and stuff like that so they can do what they need to do as well out into the wild. And just public engagement too, education is a big factor in it, just making sure and spreading awareness.
Is there anything that the general public can do to help preserve the lives of the bats?
I think again the main thing is that people don't really know this species at all. A lot of people have the understanding that most bat species are nocturnal, where they're not in this case, they're diurnal. They spend a lot of time out during the day. Because of the fact that they eat a lot of fruit out in the wild, they're really good seed dispersers as well. So it's really good as part of the ecosystem out in the wild, and it's just explaining a little bit about that. And unfortunately, a lot of their issues that they're facing is deforestation, and just kind of the ways that we can help to reduce that in the wild.
After meeting with Emily, I made my way over to the snow leopard enclosure, where I met with Caroline to discuss how the species is coping in the current climate.
Do the leopards have some form of daily routine?
Yeah, they do. So the first thing we do when we come down is just check the enclosure's all good, make sure the fencing's still secure and check they're all good as well, make sure they're nice and healthy and there's nothing wrong with them. We don't actually clean them every day. Being a cat, they actually quite like their smell, so we generally clean them twice a week. Normally the house gets done a bit more regularly, but yeah.
So what sort of habitat do they usually live in?
So they live up in the mountains around kind of Asia area, so it actually covers 12 different countries, and China holds about 60%. So up in the mountains, it's quite high above sea level, depends where they're from. So in the Himalayas, it's actually much higher than in the Mongolian areas. It's normally kind of rocky terrains, like little divots as well. They like to hide down in the cracks because that's really good for stalking their prey and things like that. A lot of people think it should be snow, hence the name snow leopard, but a lot of the time it's actually kind of more rocky and kind of grey browny colour, so that helps them blend in with the environment as well.
So what sort of diet do they have, both in captivity and in the wild?
Yeah, so in the wild they mainly eat wild goat and sheep, and then here at the zoo we feed them a bit of venison, we feed them rabbit or hare, and we also feed them pheasant. Venison is probably their favourite. We feed them 5 out of 7 days a week, so Mondays and Fridays are their fast day. It's just to kind of mimic how they would eat in the wild. So the days before we give them a larger feed so they're nice and full.
What are the numbers like of the snow leopards?
So unfortunately they're classed as a vulnerable species on the IUCN Red List. They estimate it to be about 3,920 to 6,390, which sounds a bit of a wide range. They're actually quite a secretive species, so it's actually hard to get true figures. It's not a great number, unfortunately. They have declined in the last kind of few years and so.
So what do you guys at the zoo do to help the endangerment of the species?
So here at the zoo we give to the Snow Leopard Trust every year several thousands pounds of money to support their wild conservation work that they're doing out there. Our girls actually have a genetic deformity with their eyes, so we can't actually breed them because we wouldn't want to pass that on in captivity. For us, we have them more for being ambassadors and raising awareness about how people can help support them in the wild, and educate people as well, because people are always interested in about them as individuals and their adaptations for the wild and all that sort of stuff.
Is there anything the general public can do to help?
Just by the public coming to the zoo, actually a percentage of the ticket will go towards the Snow Leopard Trust, and any products that we sell in our shop as well, which is snow leopard related, again a percentage of that actually goes to the Snow Leopard Trust. Climate change is actually something that really affects these guys, so just being responsible with like recycling, reusing, all that sort of stuff just helps with the general climate change as well.
After spending the day at the zoo, learning more about the endangerment of the animals, hopefully, with the work of the zoo and their associates, these species can continue to grow. If you would like to learn more, or learn how you can help these endangered species, please visit www.northumberlandzoo.co.uk/support-us. Thanks for watching.